Besides being one of the most badass characters that Overwatch has to offer, there's a lot going for Doomfist as a whole. Right after Wrecking Ball, I believe that he is the most mobile character in the game, and with that he has some insane killing potential. In this guide, I'm going to teach you the movement, combat, and overall gameplay tricks that will improve your gameplay with this awesome character. Alright, first up, I'm going to teach you the difference between a quick punch versus an extended punch. So if I were to just tap right click, you're going to go that far. Now if you're in the air, it's going to go farther, just because you're not being dragged against the ground. But okay, so you can go that far, and the extended punch is that far. So a little past, like right here, right? So now there is a way to extend the distance that you are jumping, right? So if I were to just charge this up, right, I am going to go this far. I make it right in the middle of the staircase, right? Now if I were to charge it up and then jump at the right time, you will get extra distance. Let me show you that. I literally hit the wall because it like the wall stopped me because I went so far, right? You get so much extra distance with this time jump, and the way that you know when to jump is that when your momentum is about to stop, jump. So for me, I know that I stopped here, so right about here would be good. So if you're practicing this, just go into a game like here and do what I'm doing, and then when you know you're about to hit the sticker, just jump. Right? So for me, that was actually more like right here, but yeah, it extends the amount of distance that you're traveling by so much. And you don't only have to do it with the extended jump or the extended punch. You can do it with the quick punch as well, and let me show you that. I messed that up. Let me redo that. So you can go almost as far with the quick punch and the jump as the sticker as I originally did, with just the jump or just the punch with no jump, right? So that is the first movement tip. Now on top of this, I'm going to teach you how you can change the direction of your jump. So after you've mastered the ability to just get the time of the jump right? So you charge it up, and let's say I want to change direction to go down that hallway over there. So what I do is I charge it up, I quickly look in the direction I want to go, and then I jump. Let me show you that. Right? So what it does is it like starts the transition. So let me do it again. Right? And keep in mind, I am holding W while or right after I jump, so that is helping me. But if I just do this, it lets me start turning into this hallway. On top of that, another movement tip is that Doomfist as a character has an uppercut ability, right? And you get that by hitting left shift. So for most heights in the game, like most elevated spots, all you have to do is just jump and then uppercut, and you can just get onto them. So let me show you that. So all you need to do is just uppercut to get these higher spots. So if I put everything that I just taught you together, right? In my opinion, the fastest way to leave spawn is something that I came up with, right? So what you do is you charge the fist completely. You jump. When you do the extended jump, right? And then you go into a seismic slam. And that is how I get out of spawn the fastest. Because when you seismic slam, you get that little boost going forward. In Overwatch, it's known that a few seconds can be the difference of you winning the game versus losing it. So just keep that in mind when leaving spawn. You want to do these extra little things because it will help you get into the battlefield that much quicker. Now if I wasn't hitting this, I would be going further, but let me do it over here. So I went from over there to here. So that's a big distance. The amount of damage that Doomfist does is, for his Seismic Slam, he can do anywhere from 49 damage to 125. His uppercut does 50 all the time. His shotgun knuckles, so when you shoot you get 6 pellets, right? It'd be easier if I went back here and showed you. So you get 6 pellets. If you land all 6 pellets in the torso, you will get 66 damage. That is the optimal amount of damage that you want to get, and then obviously if you get a headshot, it's double that, right? So, and then but keep in mind you're not going to get a lot of damage from back here as opposed to if I was just standing right here, right? You're going to land every shot guaranteed if you're right next to them. That's why it's a shotgun pellet. Now obviously Doomfist's most important damaging ability is his fist, right? You are pretty much guaranteed to kill with this ability, and it's really easy to do, and it gives you shield, and it's just a really great ability. But the thing with Doomfist is that if this NPC would not be standing behind a wall, it would not have killed him. Like, these bots have 200 health, right? When Doomfist punches somebody, it knocks them into the wall, and if they get knocked into a wall, it does extra damage. If not, they will still be alive. So yeah, I killed him, but it's because he's hitting the wall. So keep that in mind, is that when you're going to hit somebody, generally aim for somebody who has a wall behind them, and that will help you a lot in securing kills. Okay, so up next I'm going to teach you the combat combo that you will literally use as Doomfist like every time you play him, right? And that is a Seismic Slam, uppercut, and then 2 shots to the torso, and then you use your fist to get away. Let me show you that. Now, I know it looks like it's really hard to do, but in actuality, like, it's really easy. Like, you just need to get a rhythm down. So, Seismic Slam, uppercut, 2 shots. Okay, I screwed that up. But you get what I'm saying. 2 shots to the torso, and then you turn around, and you just tap right click, and then with the little jump, you will go back to past where you started. And what that does is that if you're in your team group, let's say there's a Hanzo up here, you literally just jump, Seismic Slam, and boom, you're right back in the team, and your team doesn't have to worry about him anymore, right? Now, there are ways to extend the amount of damage that you do so that you don't have to do 2 shots to the torso, and let me show you that right now. Okay, so with this is that when you do your Seismic Slam, if you look between the shot indicator and the shotgun pellet load thing that shows the 4 pellets, there is a number which indicates how much damage you're doing for the Seismic Slam. So when I go into it, you know that I just did 49 damage. That is the minimal amount that you will do as Doomfist, right? So a way to extend this is to be in the Seismic Slam longer. And there are like little cheats you can do by going on stairs and stuff, but the easiest way to get it, which is my favorite way, is to just jump from a high spot. And that way, I clicked twice out of habit, but I only had to shoot him once, and he was almost dead. Like, I could have punched him, and he would have been dead. Right? So if I do that again, from this height, I just did 66 damage, as opposed to my 49. And that little damage, stuff like that, adds up. And not only is it good for damage, but it's good for sneak attacks, and I cannot like underestimate like how often I use that. Like, that is my favorite thing, is to just get sneak attacks on people. Okay, so another thing about the Seismic Slam is that when you actually use it, you don't have to dedicate to one direction. And what I mean by that is that if I was to jump from this spot right here, right, I don't have to dedicate the cone area to just this direction, because a lot of people think, hey, I jump forward, it's going to do the damage forward. That is not the case. So if I were to jump off this balcony again, I could easily just change the direction I'm looking, and it would change the direction of the cone. So yeah, once I click E, I am just like with the fist. You can't change the direction of the fist until you are done with the course. But just like that, you are locked to its course, but you can change the direction. So if a Hanzo were to say, jump out of the way of you, you could very easily just turn your cursor to the right and get him. So let me show you that. When this bot comes up, he's going to go right past me, right? And I'll just turn around. See? So I did a full 180 and I still got the damage for that. Okay, so up next, a thing I like to do with Doomfist is that I like to sneak punches in around corners, and that sounds kind of weird at first, but let me teach you what I mean. Is that, okay, so let's say there's somebody standing right over here, right? And I want to punch them into that wall. What I could do is charge up the shot here, and then quickly turn around, and then hit them from there. And what that does is, one, they hear me, they have no clue where I am, right? So they get worried. And then two is that while they're looking for me, I can just easily just straight up hit them. And that is very useful, because when you do this, you want to make sure there's a wall behind them, if you can. Like if not, then just hit them and then just do that. But it makes for really good sneak attacks. Okay, next up, Doomfist's ultimate. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this now. This is not a powerful ultimate, and like you'll notice that the cooldown for Doomfist's ult here is a lot faster than other ultimates, and that's because it's not powerful. You will get much more value out of Doomfist, like just playing him as a character, than you will as ultimate. It's not overpowered. So the thing, what I find the most useful for Doomfist is that when you use his ultimate, it's just another movement tactic under your belt, and it adds to his movement. And when you go into your ult, you can move with WASD, right? And you left click to actually drop, right? So on top of that, you can go to elevated surfaces. So if I were to go use my ultimate down there and I wanted to go up here, it's not gonna let me unless I hold right click. And when I hold right click, it changes the view to bird's eye, and you can change elevations. So let me show you that right now. So if I want to go over here, I can't unless I right click, in which I can go up to this level here. And that's pretty useful, because when I was learning how to do Doomfist, nobody taught me that. I found it out accidentally. So Doomfist's ultimate, like I said, is a movement guide. It doesn't mean you have to use it as a movement. If you're on a killing spree and you just killed 4 people and there's one guy left and he's about to kill you, and all your abilities are on cooldown, then just use your ability and kill him. And another thing is that when you use your ability, try to lead your shot. So like if they are trying to run away from you this way and you click here, because by the time they actually see the thing, they're gonna go, wait a second, and then they will be directly in the path of your shot. Do not expect to get more than 2 kills with this unless you're paired up with a Zarya and you do Graviton Surge with your ultimate. you're not going to get more than 2 kills with this typically, because it's just not a powerful ultimate. Unless you like land directly on people, it's not going to do a lot of damage. That's why I prefer to use it as a movement tactic. But there are times when it is useful as a damaging tactic. Okay, so now to playstyles, right? So a lot of playstyles that I like to do are called Sneak Fist, Aggressive Fist, and Safe Fist, right? And Sneak Fist is kind of self-explanatory. There are a lot of times when yeah, typically I play Aggressive Fist, but sometimes I say to myself, hey, I need to play Sneak Fist right now because I need to get a pick. Sneak Fist is very good for picks, and what I mean by that is that there are certain points on like certain maps you can get past the choke very easily and get behind them, and you can get a pick on the enemy team, and it creates an opening for your team to push in, because then at that point it's 6v5. Just make sure you tell your team ahead of time that you're going for the pick, and that way your healers will know to follow up and heal you, and your team will know to push from there. Sneak Fist is also very good if they're running a Pharah, and let's say she lands for some, like she typically lands for whatever reason. You can follow up by just killing them with just by sneaking around. Aggressive Fist is literally just how it sounds, right? You are as aggressive as possible. You literally live for your cooldowns to go down, right? You just play aggressive as possible, and that is, I typically play that way a lot, and that's when you're like trying to take over the point. Doomfist is a very fast-paced character, and through time you will learn how to stack up his abilities and get like good kills, and you'll learn how to do it quickly. And it's only when you reach that point that you should like start being more aggressive, but until then, I say like as a beginner, your best bet is to play the safest, right? And the safest is when, honestly, you should just do this most of the time in general, and that's when, if you're on the attack, to stay with your team and you're moving the payload, stay with your team behind the shield if you have a shield, and try to stay with the healers as much as possible, because what you'll notice is that if you go in and you just punch your way into the enemy team, they are going to take advantage of that, and they will kill you very quickly. And trust me, I have plenty of Hanzo clips to prove it. So what you want to do is that when you're playing safest, is that you want to, alright, so let's say I'm playing right here, right? You want to do this. Size by slam into them, uppercut, 2 shots, and then go back into your group, right behind the shield, and they will hardly get any damage on you. So yeah, that was my tutorial on how to use Doomfist. He's an insanely fun character. Personally, I main Doomfist. So much fun. If you have any questions, just ask in the comments. And yeah, just practice your Doomfist and have fun.
Could you please make sure that I'm getting healed? If the fire's on the right, so I'm putting the kind of rocket.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Nice try. Kill, stolen.
Hogs, how to do that?
Instead of
Yeah, they switched hogs instead of do that.
Press F to pay respects. Oops. Oops.
This is one.
Oh my god, I need healing. Yeah, have fun with my fists in your face.